I've just been communicating in British Sign Language, which is BSL for short. Now, this is the language of the deaf. There are many different variations of it, all depending on where you are in the world. So, there'll be a different one for pretty much every single language that's spoken and written out there in the world. So, I've seen it used in the UAE in Arabic, also in Saudi Arabia, which is slightly different to the one in the UAE as well. Um, and it just differs from place to place. Now there's a whole history of how I know BSL and how I am confident in using it, etc. I'll fill you in on that in a couple of videos later on. I just want to mention that BSL is something that is used by people who are profoundly deaf, not people who are hard of hearing, because hard of hearing could be somebody who's been able to hear in the past and then they've lost their hearing gradually, but they can still hear. Profoundly deaf is basically when you would not be able to hear anything whatsoever. You'd actually be able to feel vibrations, and that's pretty much it. So that's how you hear sound, if that kind of makes sense. You'd actually feel it rather than hear it. But of course, that has to be really, really loud sound in order for you to be able to hear it. So parts of this video do not include any sound whatsoever. The reason for that is because I'm trying to give you a different experience. As a hearing person, I have no idea what it feels like not to be able to hear and only have to communicate with your hands and facial expressions. Now, in the current situation, with social distancing and having to wear face masks, it's not going to be easy for deaf people to socialize, to interact, whether it be outside or inside the house. So for that reason, I'm going to switch up my YouTube style a little bit. It's going to be a challenge for me, but I hope that it's going to benefit more than just the hearing community. So if you've made it this far, just do me a massive favor and just stay with me until the end. The reason being, it's going to give you a very different experience, as I've already mentioned, and it's going to give you some insight into what it's actually like to see and focus on what you're actually seeing rather than relying on the sound. Now, this video I have already uploaded on YouTube, so you'll see it popping up now on the right hand side. You can watch it if you want. It's got the sound, it's got a beautiful piece of music behind it. But I want you to just think about what it's like not being able to hear that and just focus on the visuals. See, the pandemic has had a lot of benefits for me in that it's actually made me realize that I've got a lot of skills that actually can be put to use to help other people. Not only that, there's a lot of skills that I actually need to work on and practice as well. So I've had a lot of time to self-reflect. I've taken a massive break, as you already know, and this time I have refocused and thought, what do I really want to achieve? And meals is really about having a different perspective than what's already out there, making sure that I use my experiences and my skill set to benefit people from all walks of life and get people engaged and talking and thinking about many different things that are out there. A lot of the time we just focus on our education, which then focuses us on our job and our future, and that's not the be all and end all. Many people have lost their jobs, many people have had to change their careers just because of the pandemic and what it has caused. So, bearing that in mind, I always say to my students in the classroom that you need to always work on your skill set. It's not just about working hard and studying, it's also about learning different things in life and being able to interact with different scenarios and situations. And when I talk about interacting with scenarios and situations, I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about how you actually deal with the whole situation, people included, but also the feelings, emotions, and thought processes that go with being in a certain situation. Right, I'm going to stop talking now. I hope you've had a different experience, but also one that's made you think as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.